Hey everybody, and welcome back to more Trail the Twister. We're still here in the house looking around. I don't think there's really anything else for us to see around here. Well, there is a not laptop, this computer. Yeah, it looks kind of old, but it seems like it's doing the job. But we can't really look around at it, so tell you what, let's go ahead and head off to the basement. We couldn't go through that door earlier, so it looks like this is pretty much our next destination. Okay, there's the laptop that Debbie mentioned in her notes. She mentioned that there was like a quiz that we had to take. I'm guessing that's this. Twister Trivia. The Weather Service will issue what type of alert when a tornado has been spotted? I would say that's probably a tornado warning, not a watch, because a watch means that you are looking for one, but when you found one, you probably want to issue a warning. Alright, good. I won't really read any of this stuff here. How many tornadoes are recorded on average each year in the United States? Typically, when it comes to these kinds of questions, I tend to go for either the largest number or a middle number, so I'm going to go for the largest one here. Aw. This one? There we go, okay. And tornadoes are measured using what system? I think that's the F scale? The categories are for hurricanes. Yay, alright, the Fujita scale. And there are 5 ratings from F0 to F5. And this is something that I believe will probably come in handy here in this game, if I remember correctly. Let's see, the least safe place to seek shelter in a public place, such as a theater or mall during a tornado is... An interior corridor would be the safest place, a storm shelter for sure. Would it be a large room? Yes, okay. Lack of roof support, right, okay, that makes sense. In preparation for an emergency, every family should have a tornado plan in place, and this item, yeah, party kit, that would definitely be very handy during a tornado. Because partying is definitely what you have to do when a storm comes, right? Let's go for disaster. There we go, essential supplies. Maybe we'll need to put one of these together, I don't know. Which of the following is not indicative of a possible tornado? A and D definitely. I would say this one. Oh, downburst? Oh, okay. Oh, this is a different kind of thing. It flows out. Alright. On average, EF4, EF5. Let's go for the larger one this time. Aww. 10? No? 1. Oh, okay. 1%. I guess that makes sense. And what causes the most injuries during a tornado? How about flying debris? Yes, okay. Wow. 200 miles per hour. That's pretty serious. Alright, we initially answered 5 out of 8 correctly. I'm guessing that there's like an achievement you get when you answer all of them correctly on the first try. Oh well though. Gallery. I believe this is where we would upload pictures we take. Of course, some of these I believe are real life pictures, if not all of them. Probably taken by the game creators. But I think we can upload our own pictures here.
I need to connect my phone first.
Yeah, like we can take pictures with our phone when we go outside, and then we can look at them here. So let's test this out real quick. Wait, did we just delete that? I hope we didn't. Oh well. So let's test the phone out here. Just try taking a...
Nancy, is that you?
Oh!
Yes, that's me.
Scott wants to meet you.
Be right there.
Oh, never mind.
Nancy Drew, you made it. I'm Scott Varnell, the person in charge of this meteorological train wreck. Welcome aboard.
Alright, so this guy seems to be kind of a bit cynical.
Are you the person I'll be reporting to?
You'll be reporting to Debbie. But make no mistake, I call the shots around here.
Alright.
Ever seen a real tornado, Nancy?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. As I was driving up to the farmhouse, it wasn't that big, but it sure threw a lot of debris around.
Well, isn't that just peachy? We spend hours racing all over the countryside, and where's all the action? Right in our own backyard. We're never gonna win this thing. The school's gonna pull the plug on us, sell the farm, and that's gonna be all she wrote. And it's all Krollmeister's fault for saddling us with a bunch of Bush League junk. But now that you're here, maybe our luck will change. 2 things you need to do right off the bat. I gotta give a workshop on tornado preparedness at the junior high school next week, so put a sample disaster kit together for me. If anything's missing, go up the road to Ma and Pa's and get it there.
Alright, so we need to put together a disaster kit. We know what goes into a disaster kit, but let's just hear his answer.
What goes into a disaster kit?
Look, you're here because that rich uncle of yours said you could do the job, so be a little resourceful and just do it, okay? If you need a nanny, have your uncle send one. We don't have the budget. Second thing you need to do is redesign the warning siren layout for the local community. They just got a set of new sirens and their range is different, so the town asked me, and now I'm telling you, to figure out where to place them so if there is a tornado, everyone will be within earshot of a siren. All the information you need is on the chart in the other room. You have questions about anything, bug Debbie, not me. Nice meeting you.
Alright, fine, be that way. Can we look around? I'm guessing he won't be too particularly happy about that. What's this? Gone with the Wind. The Wind. A town says goodbye to Ma. By Sarah Wilson. The storm, like so many storms in this part of the country, came on quickly. The skies seemed to grow darker and more menacing by the second. Lightning cracked in the trees, and the storm gust ripped decorations from storefront windows downtown. Before the sirens even sounded, the first twister touched down. An hour later, as the first beams of sunshine broke through the dissipating clouds, a familiar cherry-red pickup lay overturned in the Cooper's South cornfield. 2 days later, it would be discovered. Most people around here simply knew her as Ma. For more than 3 decades, Betsy Oakes held her post behind the counter of Ma and Pa's store, always ready to welcome the day with a fresh pot of coffee and the latest gossip. Yesterday, for the first time in 30 years, the shutters outside Ma and Pa's stayed closed as the devastated town began to realize the scope of its loss. "She was the glue that held this town together," said Rose Atwater, friend and loyal Ma and Pa's customer. "Wasn't a thing about this town she didn't know better than anyone else, and she wasn't shy about telling you that either." Customers and friends alike remember Betsy as if she were a member of the family. "She sat me down the day I moved into town and asked me a million questions," said Denise Miller. "What were my hobbies? Where was I from? It was a real third degree. The next day my inbox was flooded with invitations from all over the county. She never admitted it, but I'm sure it was her doing." Such stories are common. Betsy's reputation as a good neighbor and tireless organizer was known throughout the state. "There are fewer than 224 clubs you can trace back to her at some point," said Dina Lohman, president of the Tulsa Organization of Community Centers. "You name it, she put it together. She had this way with people that was just beyond special." A large memorial had appeared outside Ma and Pa's general store. In addition to heartfelt farewells to Ma, its message is simple. "Hurry back, Pa. We miss you." Under the sign, hundreds of handwritten notes of encouragement have been posted by the store's patrons. "I know what it's like to be in his position," said customer Andy Janaway. "It doesn't do you much good to stay cooped up at home all day. We just want him to know that we miss him and would like to see him again as soon as he's ready." While residents struggle with Betsy's loss, one disturbing question is beginning to emerge. "Why didn't the sirens go off?" asked resident Marianne Harrison. "What good is having a warning system if no one knows how to use it?" "Well, it's not that simple, unfortunately," said Knute College storm researcher Scott Varnell. "No one knows exactly what causes tornadoes to form. There are a lot of theories out there, but we're still years away from being able to accurately predict where the storms will touch down." No stranger to working out in the field, Varnell has made his career as one of the nation's foremost tornado experts. You may be familiar with what happened in Kearney a few years back. That's why I'm here today. When those storms rolled in, the whole town was caught off guard. If we had been able to get advanced warning, a lot of lives would have been saved. Varnell drops a large binder of storm data on the table. "I had this information to give warning for this storm," said Varnell, "but I couldn't figure out what it meant in time. None of us can yet." As a tracker, Varnell is among those responsible for giving advanced storm warnings that can sometimes mean the difference between life and death. "All we have," said Varnell, "is warning. There is nothing we can do once the storm is on the ground. Storm trackers, myself included, have a responsibility to make sure that what happened to Betsy never happens again. I won't stop until we have a forecasting system that truly works. Figured I'd read this article because it provides a lot of context for at least two of the characters we will meet here. One of them was Scott, and the other was Pa, who we haven't met yet. It's a rather interesting story for sure. And this brings up one of the other reasons why I wanted to play this game. It's because my dad is a storm watcher. So he's kind of familiar with a lot of this stuff. And here we've got some indications of where the various categories of tornadoes have touched down all around the states. Looks like there's none in the Panhandle, though. And
Back already?
let me ask him about a few other things here.
What did you mean when you said before that the school would sell the farm if you lose?
Just what I said. Right now, Canute College offsets the costs of maintaining this place with funds from private companies like the Healy Healy. But apparently that money's about to dry up, so if we don't win this competition, there goes the farm.
Yeah, we saw the Healy Healy's sign outside.
Do you remember that interview you gave after Ma died?
Nope. Why do you ask?
I read it, and it seems like a lot has changed for you over the last few years.
What's that supposed to mean?
I don't really know if anything has changed, per se. It seems like he's still rather dedicated to getting the job done. But maybe he's more so.
You sounded much more excited about your work.
Yeah, well, that's the reality of life, Nancy. You don't honestly think life gets more exciting as you age, do you? Because it doesn't. Dreams fade, hearts get broken, friends get too lost in their own lives to call. Trust me, enjoy your youth while you have it, kid. Because the downhill ride, it ain't fun.
That's not true.
Now I see why Debbie speaks so highly of you. Optimists of a feather. Tell you what, I'll admit that you just may be right. I hope you're right. I just don't think you are. Let's switch topics, all right? This has been a long enough trip down memory lane for the day.
Okay, so I was wrong about him. I guess he's not quite all that dedicated, at least to that same extent.
I'll quit bugging you now.
Ta-ta.
I like how that took a long time for him to answer. Yeah, I don't think there's really anything else to see here in this room. So let's go ahead and... Oh, wait, there's more here. Okay. Let's check out this area. Hopefully he doesn't mind the music. What's that down there? I can't really look at that. And I can't really do anything... Uh-oh. Well, we'll just leave it off for the time being.
That tornado you just saw. What'd you think?
What do you mean?
Were you excited? Terrified? Did it make you want to go home? What?
Actually, that tornado is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life, and I can't wait to see another one.
Now that's what I like to see. Wish I could get that sort of enthusiasm out of my students these days. Between you and me, the last few years I've gotten stuck with the worst students. I could be telling them about the most exciting storms on record, and all I get back is a sea of bored faces. Before they defunded my department, I got the best of the best. Students who really cared, like Debbie, but those days are over.
That must really be disappointing.
What are you, like 18? Do me a favor, kid, don't talk to me about disappointment till you've lived long enough to experience it firsthand.
Alright, so he doesn't want to talk.
Nancy, that was... I know you meant well. Anyway, good news is it looks like weather conditions for the next 2 weeks are going to be ideal for tornado genesis.
Yay!
Which means we could be in for a record-breaking string of tornadoes. You may be putting that enthusiasm to good use.
I sure hope so.
Okay. I gotta admit, if this were real life, I would not be quite as excited as Nancy about tornadoes, but I'm glad she is. So let's see if we can look around in the basement without interruptions this time. Oh, Debbie's here. Alright, we'll talk to her in a minute, but I'm gonna go down here.
Nancy, come back here.
No!
You can't meet Scott without meeting me too. I'm Debbie, the project manager.
Alright. It looks like we won't be able to explore the basement without talking to everyone here in the house.
You're the one who'll be giving me orders?
Pretty much. First thing every morning, drop by to see me. I'll let you know what has to be done that day.
Alright, so she's the one who's gonna be giving us chores.
Sounds like you've been having a lot of equipment problems.
Let's just say that Scott is extremely good at misdirecting blame.
Oh?
You think the problems are really Scott's fault?
But hey, I could be wrong. Which, by the way, is something you'll never hear him say.
Yeah.
Anyway, as for the rest of today, those 2 jobs Scott gave you, get them done. Pretty much everything he says in there, I can hear out here. He's not exactly a low talker. The chart with all the siren stuff is in the living room, and that computer quiz you took will tell you what needs to go into the kit.
Great.
If any items are missing, you can go to Ma and Pa's general store up the road and buy them. Just purchase wisely, our budget is very limited. And if you haven't introduced yourself to Pa or finished the filing, please do so. And once you're done with all that, you can head out to the cornfield and fix the sprinkler system.
Fix the sprinkler system?
See, this farmhouse and the acreage it sits on were donated to Canute as a research facility. The chase team gets it during tornado season. The agricultural team's here the rest of the year, so we've agreed to maintain whatever projects they've got going in their absence. Right now, they're in the middle of collaborating on something with this big mucky-muck research center in Hawaii. Which is just another way of saying, fix those sprinklers ASAP.
Alright, so we've got a 3rd item on our list.
I found this box out front when I arrived. Thought maybe I better turn it in.
Wow. There must be a couple $100 in here. Job. Thanks. Payment enclosed.
You don't know whose it is?
No idea. I heard you tell Scott about seeing that tornado, so my guess is the Twister carried it in from somewhere else. Maybe even somewhere miles from here.
I'd feel better if you kept it.
Sure. When I get a chance, I'll call the sheriff and report it.
That sounds like a rather convenient excuse.
Why is there a file in the cabinet labeled Grange Theater?
Theater's kind of a passion with me. So when I got here at the beginning of tornado season, I found out the Grange needed a stage manager for the play it's putting on, and volunteered for the job.
Oh, cool.
And soon became the sound and lighting director as well, which means when I'm not here or out in the field, I'm there.
It sounds like you keep pretty busy.
You don't even know the half of it. We're approaching final dress for the Grange's big play of the year. Everyone from around here shows up. You should ask Pa about it. He's got much more of a passion for the stage than you'd expect from a man in overalls.
This Pa sounds like a rather interesting character, like she said on her note earlier.
What goes in the disaster kit again?
You don't remember?
No, sorry.
To tell you the truth, I have to look up a lot of things myself some days. Check the computer, that should help you out.
Well, thanks for at least being nicer about it than Scott was.
That's it for now.
Okay. Oh, and thanks for driving that car up here for us. That was a big help. See ya.
Okay, so we got to meet Debbie. Now let's see if we can go in here. Is there anything else to look at besides the laptop? Ooh, there's another guy here. Well, tell you what, we've been going for a little while here, so we'll talk to this dude in the next video. So until then, guys, thanks again for watching. We had a lot of talking and stuff in this video, but I hope it was still fun to watch. Next time, though, we will finish up our conversations and get to know this guy, and we will start to tackle our task list. So I will catch you then.